Tonight's Fan Zone show, Phil is not here, so I am taking over tonight. Hope everyone's doing okay. We are a bit late, so apologies. We'll get a few comments in before we do get straight into it. Nick says, evening, Phil. Let me just take this off so we can see it better. Evening, Phil. Great win on Saturday. It was. I'm seeing a lot of Phil comments, so apologies that Phil isn't here tonight. Good evening. What a goal by Fatawu. Do you know what? I said it on yesterday's show. I would actually go out and say that it wasn't as amazing as people think it is. Don't get me wrong. Quality goal and brilliant. I think it was the record for the distance from goal to shoot from. But all I would say is, it was, as much as it looked good, it made it look easy with the keeper and where he was. Not to pull away from the goal he scored, no. 3 points on Saturday, it was, yes. We need to try and get another 3 points next Saturday. Craig says, hi all, how we doing? Andy, how we doing, mate? What's everyone's view on Antonio joining? I think it's good business on a short-term deal. I think even on a game-to-game basis sort of thing, where he's like, he's free, might as well bring him in. Nothing can't be wrong with that. So for me, looking at it and thinking, no, there's no issue. I think you just bring him in and you pay him for when he scores a goal or when he gets a game. So in my opinion, no doubt about it, you put him in. How we doing, Nick? Appreciate coming in. Antonio would be good. Yep. Evening, Sean. Jordan says, really always late, mate. I was busy. I was doing something and I didn't realise the time. Does Jacob always look shaky since he's coming back? Do you know what? I said on yesterday's show that I honestly do think that it might be time for Begovic to come back in. Not to say that Jacob's done that bad of a job, but I feel like even the Bristol City game where we conceded 2, I'm not putting it all down to him, but I think in a position where he was, you can't be being on your near post twice. And as much as we needed to defend the chance, I really think that Swink should have been better in that position. But get views and get your comments in. We will be straight into it after the intro. So get views and get your comments in as always.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Yes, make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials. As you can see below, we are sponsored by Pucker Pies on this show. So get your views and get your comments in as always. And we will be bringing out another giveaway tomorrow, another season's worth of Pucker Pies in the giveaway we're doing tomorrow. Phil next week will be mentioning more about it, but get your entries in tomorrow once we post that out, so you can get a chance to win some more pies. Clibo, how we doing, mate? Skip played well again. Yeah, I think that realistically now Winks isn't in that role. I think he's got a bit more freedom to do what he wants to do and how he wants to play, because I think at times he was getting in the way, or they were getting in each other's way, and they couldn't really progress with what they wanted to do in the team, in my opinion. We'll bring a few more players up in a minute, but we'll see why we're going on that. Michael says the club will give Fatu away. I don't know. I in a way, I actually kind of like that he's not playing to his best ability. Like, don't get me wrong, his goal was quality on the weekend, but if he has an odd game here and there, hopefully people don't want to see him and try and pick him up. Chicken bolties, mate. Yeah, if you win, you'll be getting a chicken bolty pie, and 24 of them. So yeah. Bobby Reed had a good game. Yes, he did. Terry Payne says, didn't watch Saturday. Are we playing Marty's way or not? And not Top's tippy-tappy foot stuff. I think in a way we're playing a bit both. I think we're starting to see the last few games that we are starting to see a bit of a plan or a bit of philosophy in the team and how he wants to play. And I think this is how Marty wanted to play to begin with. I just think that certain players he was picking in the likes of Winks and all that, I think that maybe it kind of caused a bit of upset in the way we wanted to play, because I think maybe Winks wanted to play a certain way, or other players wanted to play in a certain way as well, that I think maybe contradicted what Marty wanted them to do. That's maybe why they're out of the team now. Ben Morgan says sell Winks in January and use the money on JJ. Yeah, completely agree with you. I think that would be the perfect way to take one out and bring one in. Gary says, yes, we won, but still need areas need sorting out. JJ to be brought in January. If we can bring him in January, yes, definitely. We will bring this player up though, which is Mr. Ben Nelson. As someone says in the chat, I won't bring it up yet because obviously we've got the graphic up, but he said Jordan said Ben Nelson was solid again. And I think he's always been solid. I think that one odd game against Huddersfield Town, I think that really you were just thrown in the deep end with a load of players that really, I don't think a lot of them did play. I think a lot of them were either bench players or kind of fringe-ish players, and I just think it just didn't work well. And obviously he was just stuck in there. And I think as much as it was his first game, I think he's shown that he's been quality since. We'll just take that off. We'll bring in Michael. Says Luke Thomas had a decent game again. Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I think defensively he could have been a tiny bit better, but I'm not sure. Clibo does come out and say, do we really need a new keeper? Seems odd considering that other positions we need more attention. I don't think we do need a new goalkeeper. I just think that it might be a bit of time to swap them out again, because again, we're going to have a lot more games coming up soon because of the December period. I would actually go out and say that maybe swap them around a bit, because again, I'm not going to fault him really, but there has been times where Stolicic has not messed things up, but just a bit dodgy at times. Like I say, two near post goals gone in against Bristol City. You always say keepers shouldn't be beating at the near post, and then obviously on Saturday he had a bit of a bit of a shitter in a way. He just passed it to the wrong person. Again, normally that pass would be working, it would go to the wing back and go forward, but that's how it is. You lot were calling this as a Rolls Royce. I think that in a way, I think that he at times could show his quality, but I think realistically he was brought in with Enzo. He's not got his way the last few managers, and now he's lost his place because other players are showing that they want to fight, whereas he's not, and that's just how it is in my eyes. Nick says we're playing better and more like a team now. Now the bad eggs are out. Yeah. Oh, it's hard to say because I don't think they're bad eggs, because it's hard because Winks, yes, as much as it looks better now he's out of the team, I think he's still got quality. I think just personal preference in himself wants to play a certain way, and it just doesn't really work well with the team. And FaZe, I really, as much as yes, he's been awful at defend at times, he's been okay majority of the time. I think over 50% of the time he's been okay. Just the 20-30%, I think that he's just been absolutely woeful, and it's cost us. Not to defend him, because again, we've looked better since. Andy Downing comes out and says Ben Nelson looks like he should be the first name on the team sheet. Yeah, I think at the start of the season we were calling for Okoli and Nelson, but I still think Yannick Vestergaard has to be in that team no matter what. I think we know that the last few weeks or even months in the games, he's probably been one of the most consistent players we've got. As much as he's not got the most pace, he's still quality on the ball. Tony says made a big difference, complete opposite to FaZe. Yeah, I agree. I think Nelson definitely shows a quality that we've not had in the back line for a while. Brian says, will Antonio get a contract? I don't see why not, in my eyes. As much as he has had issues in the past with injuries and obviously the incident he did have, I don't understand why he wouldn't be in that team. He wouldn't get into the club if he's on a free and you can just pay his wages for, I'd say, per game, or maybe gets a bonus for every goal he scores. I'm not too sure. Nick says, I've been calling for Ben Nelson all pre-season. pre-Swanson or pre-season. And this season, no one had a good game against Huddersfield. No, exactly. Dawn Buckler says, do you think Marty has finally found his best 11? Close enough to it, if I'm totally honest. I think close enough to it. I think there's maybe an odd change here and there that might improve the team. Again, he's rotating his right backs a lot with Chowdhury and Pereira. I think maybe you could see an inclusion of someone like a Luco instead of Luke Thomas. In my opinion, I think that overall, I think Luco could be a better all-round left back than Luke Thomas. But I think right now the quality is probably showing over experience. Sorry, the experience is probably showing over quality. But that's just me. Andy Downing says team playing better without faith. Wings and Sumari. I can that because I think overall, again, Sumari came on against Sheffield United in the second half, and I think he put a blinder in. Obviously, I wasn't there because I left 35 minutes into the game, but people's like agendas or like opinions on Sumari, including that name into Faze and Winks for me, is a joke. Because I don't see. Yes, Sumari over the past years with Leicester, he's not been great, and we admit that. But I don't think Sumari's a bad egg. I think the other two, yeah, fair enough. Not Sumari, and people are gonna absolutely crap it all over me for saying that, but I think that's true. Let's keep. Scuba says, let's keep winning one game at a time. QPR there for the taking. They are definitely. I think we definitely should be getting a result against them. I'd rotate Ayu and Antonio for the strike spot. Agreed. Play Begovic versus QPR. Yep, I would. Again, I think he played there, didn't he? So I would definitely do that. I think that's a good way to get him back into the team. Jordan Stevenson says, Ayu been decent as well for scoring goals? Yeah, I think he's kind of got better over the last few games. As much as I still can't stand his play style, I think there's ways that he can get back into the team again. Now we're actually creating chances. He's in the box at times and he's getting the shots off. I think he's doing his job at times, but hey-oh. Sonderax says, slideshow Woot out, we get better, Winks out, we get better. Only those players who want to be there, those two wanted to leave over the summer. They have down tools. Again, yeah, we can say it. We can think that. We've obviously seen that we have been better without them two in the team. But like I said, I still wouldn't add Sumari into that role. I just think people will have an agenda or, their opinion on him over Sumari, unfortunately. Tony says, Ramsey and Mongo rumoured to be fit for Saturday's multi-sport sport for choice. Really? Ramsey's actually back in contention? Because right now, I wouldn't put him back in. I'd actually keep Bobby Reid in, and that's me saying that when I've been absolutely slating him the last few weeks. Michael says Wink carried by KDH. Yeah, in a way, yeah, probably fair enough. Patrick says 45 for Coventry away. Yeah, I heard about it today. It's an absolute joke, but I will still be there because it's 2 days. 2 days before my birthday, so I will be there no matter what. And I think it's because we're getting the train down there instead of the coach. Andy Downey says Sumari is too inconsistent. Yeah, I'd say he's inconsistent, but at times I think when he is like a good player for us, he actually shows that he has got the quality. And here he goes. I knew Nick Moore would say this, but bad eggs is Sumari, Winks, Faze and Christiansen all poor, and they're not prepared to fight, and they don't want to be here, so get rid. I'd probably say the last three. I'm still on the side of I think he's a good option in Sumari. I think Sumari is a good option if you need him off the bench. I don't think he doesn't give a shit. I think he does try, and his trying is sometimes good and sometimes bad. But I still don't think he's a bad egg compared to the rest of them, in my opinion. Michael agrees with you, Nick, so there we go. Bobby Reid has changed the team. He has been class. I think because he's been put in his right role and he's actually fit. Because obviously, like Marty said over the last few months, that since he's been in the club, Bobby Reed's been either injured or at international with Jamaica. So I think now he's fully got into the team and fully fit, I think you can show the best of him. So yeah. Scott says, I think all players should have a fight their way back into the team matchday squad. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Again, if Monga's back fit, I think there's a chance that he could try and force his way back into the team. But Mavididi is starting to show a bit more quality, which, again, we all know he did have, but he's just not been using it over the last few months until now. Sonderak says, I think Sumar is okay. He's consistently inconsistent, yeah. And when he plays well, he's very good. Yeah, I agree. I think when he does play well, he does show it. Again, Sheffield United second half. Apparently, he was one of the best players on the pitch when he came on. And then of the other games, he's not done great at all, which is just a frustrating one because I think at times he's a quality player for us, and I think he'd be a good substitution for us now. He doesn't get into the first team, but could be a good backup. Lewis Aaron Wright says, I'm not guaranteed a result against anyone. The team is working hard and no one causing problems, but we can keep going in the right direction because of this now. Add Antonio in and it's a vital piece. Agreed. Again, everything's kind of, as much as we could have got 9 points and probably should have got 9 points overall. Bristol City won. Again, we looked good in the first half. We just couldn't hold on. And that's maybe where you try and go for the third instead of sitting back at 2. But agreed. I think this definitely since Sheffield United's second half, there's been a complete kind of mentality change in the whole team, and I think we're scoring goals, and this is just an instant kind of turnaround because we couldn't score goals at all really, unless we got a lucky goal here and there or a screamer here and there. So yeah, it's just annoying. When does COV tickets available? When are COV tickets available for season ticket holders? I think soon because I was asked about it today. If I wanted one, so yeah. Dawn says, when is Ramsey back? Can we sub Bobby or vice versa? Fresh legs to bring on. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that is what it is. I think that's going to be the case. I think if he's back fit, one of them will start and one of them will come on at the 60th, 70th minute. Ayu's been decent as well the last few games. I would go out and say he's because he scored goals and because he's been in okay spots at times. Yeah, fair enough. But I still don't like his play style. I still don't like how he gets too many fouls in a game for no reason. I think if he holds the ball up a bit more instead of falling over, I think there's every chance we can get another goal in that. Antonio would be a good option for us. Free. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know why, like you say, he's training with us. As long as he shows enough in training, don't know why we don't get him. Sumari, best player, second half against Sheffield United. That's nothing to boast about. Well, yeah, but again, he's showing that he can do something in a bad position. For me, shows that he does care and he's trying to do everything to try and get back in the game. And that's how I think he's an option. I think the next 3 are winnable. I think that I'm feeling more positive now. Yeah, I think if you go into the next 3 games and get minimum 7 points, which is 1 away, 2 at home, if I'm not mistaken, then I'd go out and say, yeah, 7 points or even 9 would get you into a position where you'd probably be in playoffs easily, which is good to see. And obviously, I know we've got a point deduction coming up, so it's just hoping for the best. Jordan comes and says, just think if we weren't for the point deduction, we would definitely be getting playoffs in my eyes. Well, the form we're in right now, yes, I would agree. I think the form we're in, we should be getting playoffs. It all depends on what the point deduction is, if we get one, or when it is, and how many points it is. Surely we won't have. Surely we would have to move on a sticker to order to bring in. What? Oh, you have to move on a striker. Yeah, probably. I think you'd maybe send Carranza back and bring in Antonio. I just don't see what Antonio doesn't bring. Yes, he might not be great, but what isn't he not as good as Daka or Carranza or anything? For me, yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do it. John Towers says Simori's never worked for us. We are kidding ourselves if we think he's a good player for us now. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter. I just really do think that I think he'd be a good impact player. Again, from what I can remember, 2 years ago when we played Ipswich, was it 2 years ago? Was it last year or 2 years ago in Ipswich? He was playing at their ground and he came on and he beat two men, but bullied them both, and then obviously passed it to you to score. For me, I know it's one game, but at times you can just think of moments where I think he looked very good, and then you can mention you can mention many times he's been woeful as well. So just annoying. Yeah, I agree. Ryan says Sumari's just found his level. I probably would agree. Again, League One, other than like PSG and Leon and all them, he's probably to the level of the Championship, because that's sort of the level that League One under them sort of teams are, in a way. Because I don't think anyone's like if you're a top six team in the Premier League and you're playing PSG, it's probably to the level. But if you're playing a Nance, is it a Nance? Nance? That's not me saying it nonce in that way. I'm just saying I think there's a team called Nance in the French league, and like I say, that's probably a Championship sort of level team. Dakar off to the African nation, yeah, I know. I didn't mean to say it like that, but yeah, there's a team in the French league called Nantes or Nantes. So, last season, Vardy's last game. No, not that one. The one at away. It was an away game. Paul Craig says Antonio broke his leg in 4 places. Very bad incident. Not sure he would be the same player after that. No, of course. Realistically, it's one where you just got to hope for the best and see what he does. If he's good and looks good in training, then fair enough. Yes. Sorry, Scott. Yes, Nantes. Not Nance or Nance. Nantes. I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. Yeah, I don't mean it like that, John. That was bloody hell. A handful of games in 4 years is not the value of money. If we can get Sumari out of the club, then it's a no-brainer. Oh yeah, fair enough. If we can get 4 to 5 million for Sumari into another French team, yeah, of course, I'd take it. Away, yes, yeah, it was away. Yeah, last season they scored later on to get a point. Yeah, but the bit before he scored, Sumari bullied 2 players down the wing and got away and passed it to Ayu. So it was good to see. Sonderak says if he's in training with us and he's at least able to run, kick a ball, horrific injury and really hard to recover from, but probably still better than Carranza Dakar. Probably, yeah. This is the thing. As much as I like to joke around with Dakar, someone who's been through a lot of this sort of stuff with injuries and obviously bad incidences. If he's better than Daka, you sign him up. I'm sorry, but you do. And again, there's every chance he's awful, but he's obviously trying his best to get back to being a better player by training with Leicester. He could have gone and trained with Forest, but he obviously wants to try and get back to playing football. So hopefully there's every chance he can get back to being football with us. Ryan Perridge says if we get rid of these midfielders, you have to replace them. Yeah, you do. You do have to replace them. It's just when and if, to be honest. You don't joke about Daka. You still think he's a GOAT? No, I don't think he's the GOAT. No, I don't think he's the GOAT. I believe that he can do it. He is a good striker. I just don't think he'll be with us anymore. I think that if he went to another team who plays his style and kind of puts the ball to him for him to run onto, I think there's every chance he gets more goals. I think in the year we won the league, if he got the balls that Vardy did, I think there's every chance he could score more. I just think in the formation and the style we play, I don't think he's good enough at all for it. And that's maybe the same for someone like Carranza as well. But that's probably why Ayu fits better, because he doesn't play as attacking football. He plays more passing game. Jordan Stevenson says Daka's the worst forward we've ever had. Makes Barry Hales look like Haaland. I don't even know who that is, so I can't comment on that. We have the best facilities for players to get match fit. Yep, agreed. That's probably why he's come to us. Guarantees to leave us and becomes the top tier striker. Happens too often. Yeah, probably does. Yeah, probably does. If we can get 2 more JJs, we go up. I'd probably say close to being, yeah. Yeah, close to being. And then Nick Moore says Daka makes Trevor Benjamin look like a prime Ray Rooney. Again, another player that I don't know about. So yeah. And then Sunderak goes out and says, "We want a full team of Jordan James." Yeah, that would be good. Very quickly then, before we do finish the show, get your views in, get your comments in for score predictions on Saturday. Obviously, Jono and Simon will be talking about that on Thursday. But get your views in, get your comments in for the score predictions on Saturday. I'm going to go for 3-0 win. Try and get a clean sheet for once. We could have got one against Ipswich if we just didn't mess up that chance. But I'm going 3-0. So I'll be waiting in the comments now for you to all get it in. While we do, let's see what videos we've got to play. We don't have any videos to play. Yay! So yeah, see what you people think. Nick Ball says 2-1 City. We always concede. We always do concede, unfortunately. We always don't fall in love with. We always say don't fall in love with a lone player, but every time we break that rule, we end up loving him. We're regretting it. We want 4 million for JJ. Get it done. Agreed. Andy Downing says 2-0. Dawn Buckler says 3-1 to us. Gary Wright says 2-0 to Leicester, and Terry praying we can't keep a clean sheet 3-1. Yep, fair enough. Do you think Winks tomorrow will come in and Daka in the next game? No, because we've had near enough a week. I think he stays. I think the team stays as it is. I think if we had a midweek game like today or tonight or tomorrow, I probably would have said maybe a few changes, but no. Steve Jordan says 2-0 Leicester. Nelson and Are you? That'd be good to see Nelson on the score sheet. Keep the same team if we can get a result. 2-1 Leicester. Agreed. And 1-1 draw, says Sean. Appreciate everyone coming on tonight. We'll catch you all on Thursday for the next show. Again, make sure to check out the competition tomorrow. We're going out for the next competition we're doing. Not that one. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on all our socials. And we'll see you all on Thursday. Goodbye. And we'll see the last comment. Someone's on the access 3-2 Leicester. Come on, Leicester.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.